All right, what's up? What's up, world? This is the first Jonathan Merritt Show podcast, episode one. And today I have a special guest. I got my buddy Josh Fuller. And so I've known Josh for at least 5 years now, and he's also my personal trainer. So if you're wondering, Jonathan, how are you getting so big and so strong? He's the guy. So I brought him on here just to kind of share some gems with us, tell us his story. And he also has a new way that he's reaching out to people to help them in their fitness journey as well. So uh, let's get into a good conversation, and I hope you enjoy the show. So, Josh, what's up, man?
How's it going, man? Glad to
Um,
have glad I'm here, man. Glad to be here. So,
yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it and be on, man. How's life?
hmm life's good, man. Getting ready to transition to a new life. I've got my wife. She's pregnant, so we're expecting a baby girl here this February. So,
Congrats.
man,
That's gonna
yep,
be exciting.
yep, yep.
You
So, yeah,
excited
new
to have a
journey,
baby
new
girl?
challenge. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but
cool.
as
So,
you know, you've got kids, so you know how it is. But
yeah,
so it's be
I
a new
do.
experience for us.
Yeah, I got two myself, and we played around with so many different names, and we finally landed on some. Have y'all started floating names out there?
Yeah, we finalized the name, so we're gonna go with Harlow. So
Yeah,
Harlow
nice,
Bryn Fuller. Yeah, that'll be her
nice,
name.
nice. Harlow, I like that. I like
It's
that.
different.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, man. I mean, I know a little bit about you, but I don't know that I know, some of your background story and some of your origin. So, where are you from originally?
So I grew up in a very small town, really country area, Royal, Oklahoma. So a small town called Valiant in the very southeast corner of Oklahoma. It's about 2.5 hours from Dallas. So it's
Mm,
just right across the border,
okay.
as you go up north. But it's a really small town. I think my graduating class was around 65 to 70 students. I can't remember the exact number, but very small graduating
Oh,
class,
oh wow. Yeah.
So yeah, uh-huh.
What's it like in Oklahoma? I mean, kind of paint the picture for us. I know you say rural, but like, are we talking like farm? Are you a farm boy or?
Yeah, my stepdad has cows, so I mean, I did not necessarily grow up on a farm, but I grew up in that country lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
um, you know, dealing with cattle and, helping around with that type of life. But yeah, so Valiant is Um, it doesn't have like you would think like a typical town has, like a Walmart, things like that. No, so Valiant has like a real, like a maybe like two stores in the whole town, right? It's like Dollar General and like your local gas station is really
Okay,
all it
okay.
has, right?
Yeah.
And so if you want to do anything, you got to drive maybe 30 miles up the street to Broken Bow or Idabel, where the two
Okay.
cities that we would go to and do our shopping at, like Walmart and things like that. But Valiant didn't have none of that. So very
Okay.
small town, man. Not
Yeah.
much to do. You couldn't really get into trouble if you wanted to because everybody knew who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
So
was that
small
type of
community.
environment. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So what are some of the things that you would do for fun then growing up?
So I mean, growing up in the country, man. So me and my friends just played outside all the time. We made up games outside, just um, whether it be riding four wheelers, doing that type of thing,
Hmm.
to going out, maybe hunting and fishing,
Oh,
doing
okay.
those type of
That's cool.
country things. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then yeah, just doing kid stuff, man, playing out in the dirt and things like that. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
always say I wanted to do some fishing more and do some hunting for sure. That's one of my goals is to do both of those. I've done some fishing when I was younger, but nothing like heavy. So I really want to get into that. So maybe you can
yeah.
reach out to some people and we can
Yeah, I
go up
mean, I
there.
really don't, I really don't do that much anymore, but that's how I grew up, man. But yeah, what's interesting about the way I grew up is I had the luxury of having the best of, I guess, both, because
Hmm.
that's what I did on my mom's side, right? So my mom and dad were split when I was growing
Hmm.
up, but
Hmm.
so my dad lived in North Texas, McKinney,
Okay.
um, as I was growing up. So I would go and see him on the weekends and the summers, things like that, and get to experience some of the, things that go on here in North Texas. So
Yeah.
a lot of like sports and things like that, he would get me involved uh, in the summers in North Texas. So I got an opportunity to kind of get out of that lifestyle and see what else is out there. So,
Oh, I see. I see. So you had a vision on some other things that was out in the
hmm
world. I got you. And just for the listeners, when he says North Texas, that's the Dallas area. So when you hear people say North Texas, normally they're talking about the DFW
right.
Metroplex, and McKinney is the suburbs in that. So that's where your dad, that was his soul stumping grounds.
hmm
So, cool, cool. So
Yep,
were
yep, yep.
you into any sports growing up, man? I mean,
Oh yeah, man. So as soon as I could, hold a basketball, man, I was
okay,
shooting in the Fisher Price,
mhm,
hoop as soon as I could, and then ever since then, man, basketball has just been my love. That was my
okay,
sport. So yeah, I played that all through school. I took it as far as I could. Growing up in a small town, really didn't have the luxury of great sports teams and stuff to great competition. But
okay,
so I mean, I didn't play in college, but I played all the way through high school, and then continue to play for fun today. So I mean, I
hmm
follow the game today and what's going on. So NBA, college, those things I follow pretty closely as well. So
okay. Do you
yeah.
have a favorite team? Any favorite players?
So growing up in Oklahoma, man, OKC was a thing growing up,
Okay,
especially when they had the trifecta of uh, Harden, Westbrook, and
yeah, yeah,
Durant,
and then
right? Right.
Durant, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that was, man, that was the good old days. So,
yeah,
of course, I still kept up with them, and as they split and moved on. So, I would say like Russell Westbrook was one of my favorite players to watch, just because the passion he had for the game. You
yeah,
could tell the way he played. He played hard, and gave it all he had. So,
yeah.
that was probably one of my favorite players to
So you
watch.
were so you were one of the few people that was celebrating when they took the Supersonics away from Seattle and moved them to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, yeah. Because yeah, we didn't have a team to root for, man. We were
Yeah.
we I guess the Mavs was the next closest team. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah,
hmm
yeah, Maps. Cool, man. Well, I grew up a Lakers fan, you know that. So,
hmm
um, and my home team is the Hawks. So those two teams are the ones I root for. But then after that, I just like players. So any player that has a good personality. So Westbrook was one of those, and so again, I loved his motor as well. So, just share with us, I guess, how did you get into fitness? Because obviously you're fit. You've achieved some huge accolades in your life. So, how did you get started in fitness?
So yeah, I mean, to understand how I got here, we have to go way back, right? Probably back
Okay.
to when I was in school. So as I said, like I love to play basketball. I also ran track too. So I was an athlete at heart, but back when I was in school, I was very skinny. Um, and so that was one thing that I feel like held me back just from being really dominant at my sport, was because I was very skinny, not a lot of strength, and I didn't have the confidence in myself because of being so skinny and kind of weaker than the other people on the
hmm
floor.
hmm
Uh, so yeah, I think we have to start there, because I kind of got, I guess you could say, picked on a little bit for it, and that kind of, I was never really bullied about it, but how kids are, they call you names like toothpick and stuff.
Okay.
But so things like that, right? And that kind of stuck with me. I was like, I'm not going to let that hold me back, right?
Right.
So that kind of gave me the push to like, okay, I'm going to do something different about myself. I don't
Yeah.
have to be this way, right? So I started lifting. I got in late to lifting because I didn't lift until after graduate, or at the end of my senior year, is
Of high
when
school
yeah,
or
yeah, after high
okay.
school, yeah.
Okay.
So then after basketball was done with, then uh, I really wanted to stay active, right? But I didn't have nothing to really train for. I wasn't going to play in college. So I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I want to just go to the weight room. I had another friend that was like, hey, let's just go lift weights, after school. So instead of playing basketball or whatever, we would just go to the weight room. And he was another guy like me, pretty skinny and stuff. So we both had that in common. And yeah, it all started there, man. Just going to the gym after school and seeing progress real hit me real fast,
Hmm.
because it was like a month in the weight room. I started noticing changes, and I was like, man, this is what I've been missing out on right here.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
started hearing compliments. That's a big thing too. When people say, hey, man, you look good, right? That kind of, gives you that confidence to keep going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
And how soon did you say you before you started seeing like results?
um, So I was very skinny. So you could tell within probably the first month of just training, really
Hmm.
not having any idea what I was doing. Just going there and doing some basic things like pull ups and
Hmm.
bench press and some curls, things like that, everybody kind of knows what to do.
Hmm.
Just doing those things, you could see a change in my frame
Hmm.
within probably like a month. Um, and then just hearing that reinforcement from people saying, hey man, you're looking good, that kept me going, right? That kept me going to go back.
Okay.
And then I kind of got that, I guess it's like the newbie gains, right? That's what everybody
Hmm.
calls it.
Hmm.
And it gives you um, that confidence, and you want to keep going. So eventually, I mean, I stuck with it through college. I went to college and joined a gym there, made some more progress, right? And just fell in love with it, right? Fell in
Yeah.
love with that journey, fell in love with that progress. And um, after college, of course, I went to college to get my safety degree, like
Okay.
um, but I also became a personal trainer soon after college. So I got my certification to be a personal trainer, um, and did a little bit of that before getting into safety necessarily. Um, and so, you know, before I started my job, my career in the safety, yeah, I was a personal trainer, and I built up a lot of muscle. So people, you know, came to me asking for advice and things like that, and that kind of kept me going. Right, it was like, okay, I might have a,
So
a career in this.
was it the idea that um, people were seeking to you to be the subject matter expert, or was it more like just being able to help people?
I think it was that they saw my story of where I started. Right, they knew, okay, Josh was very skinny, and he made a change, right, and that inspired people. So they would like seek and be like, hey man, how did you do that?
Hmm.
And so I guess they felt like that motivation from what they seen the changes that I made. So
Yeah,
yeah, it made it easy for people to kind of uh, come to me for advice.
yeah, yeah. So you've helped a lot of people, man. And what would you say is some of the reasons why people don't get in the gym and or don't exercise? What are some of those barriers that would you say?
I would say, man, if let's say maybe you haven't been in the gym, maybe you're not sure where to start. Maybe you're not familiar with how to lift and how to go about it. Maybe some of those are the barriers, or you're scared of what maybe other people think, or things like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah. I think that's a big one.
hmm
Like just being afraid of being judged, and the big one, probably the biggest one is how you look, right? And you
hmm
don't, I mean, you don't really know what you're doing, and so you're kind of like, I don't know where to begin. And so
right,
just share with us some ways that you kind of help people, or how did you get over? Because I imagine you probably didn't know what you were doing the
yeah.
first time you
Everybody
went.
starts somewhere, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but for me, it was why am I here? So you have to understand your why, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so for that person that's wanting to make a change, just always remind yourself that this is why I'm here. This is why I want to do this. And really, when you're in the gym, nobody's really judging you. Everybody's in their own stage of their journey. So everybody's so focused on what they're doing, they're not really judging you.
Yeah.
And you know, So that was one thing I understood was, and then people that
Yep.
may have been there longer than me, I would take advice from those people if they come up to me and say, "Hey, man, you should try doing it this way." You know, they're just trying to help. They're not trying to judge you in any way. So yeah,
So, have you seen those TikTok videos of like people using the gym equipment doing all kind of wild things or using the equipment the way they're not supposed to be used? Even those
yeah,
people.
yeah. That cracks me up, man. I don't. Yeah. So I would say, man, what I did before I really got into the gym, or as I was training, I also watched a lot of videos, right? I watched people
Okay.
on YouTube, right, that
Okay.
I kind of
Yeah.
aspired to look like, right?
Okay.
I know like a big one for me was Steve Cook. He was really one of the first like YouTube fitness influencers, I guess you would call him,
Uh-huh.
or Christian Guzman. He actually owns Alpha Elite Gym or Alpha Land Gym,
Okay.
and that Alpha Elite clothing brand. He owns it down in Houston.
Uh, okay. So it's in
Uh,
Houston. Okay.
yeah, so he was like a big time fitness influencer back in like 2012, and he was one of the early guys before there was TikTok and everybody was shooting with
Yeah.
tripods. He was
Uh-huh.
one of the
Uh-huh.
early people that kind of started that movement,
Gotcha.
and that's who I would watch and be like, okay, so he's doing this, this, and this,
Mm-hmm.
and I would kind of go into the gym and mimic that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of learn from them, and that kind of taught me, you know, the basis of how to work out and what works.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, YouTube is a good source to go and learn, a lot of
Hmm.
different things. And so, would you just say, for people who are asking, how do I get started? Just go to YouTube and type in how to get bigger arms or how to lose weight, that type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, find you a good resource, somebody that you respect in that field, and yeah, start there. Just watch, educate yourself. Education. I mean, YouTube is great, man. Free education. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. Find somebody you respect and kind of follow them.
Got you,
So
got you.
yeah.
So, along your path of like personal training and then, getting to the safety side of things. Um, Now you're a working professional, right? I imagine that your career is kind of taking off now. And how are you able to still maintain your physique and still, work your 9 to 5 and, be a good husband and all those things? How do you balance all that?
Yeah, man. So now it's kind of more of a lifestyle, and that's what I try to teach people is that um, you have to make it a lifestyle change. It's going to be hard at first. Anything new that you start is going to be hard, whether it's a business, a new job, whatever. But after about a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, it just becomes part of your routine, right?
Mm,
And so for me, uh, training, waking up and going to the gym or fitting it in my schedule somehow just became a part of my lifestyle. So if I didn't do it, it became like it wasn't normal, right? It was normal for me to go to the gym. And so that was already my lifestyle before, you know, starting a new career or, getting married, now having a baby on the way. Um, this was already part of my life, right?
hmm hmm
So someone new that's trying to maybe fit in the gym into their already hectic schedule is just find that small window of time. Maybe it's 30 minutes, maybe it's 45 minutes in your day where you can make that lifestyle. It doesn't have to be an hour and a half every day.
Yeah.
Maybe it can start for 3 days at 30 minutes or whatever, right?
hmm
And eventually you're going to gradually get into the habit of that routine, and maybe you can add a little bit more, add a little bit more, right? And then it just becomes normal routine for you, right?
Okay.
So,
So you just recommend just start somewhere, even if
hmm
it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just start somewhere and starting somewhere, what does that do for you? I mean, I imagine you probably don't see results right away, but I'm sure it does something.
oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say just do 5 minutes. I mean, I think everybody has at least 30 minutes. They're not doing something, right?
Hmm
Um, so if you can find just 30 minutes where maybe you start maybe at your home, right? where you're not even having to go to a gym. Maybe you get some just a couple, dumbbells at your home and do some home exercises, right? For 30 minutes. That's something that you wasn't doing before. And
Hmm.
you're going to see results just in doing that because that's something that you have not been doing, right? So follow that for a little while until your results start to, you're not seeing any more results. Then you know, okay, I need to bump it up again. I need to do something else. So maybe that's okay. Now I need to join a gym. Sorry. Now I need to add more time. Okay, maybe I need to go for 45 minutes instead of 30 minutes,
Hmm.
So you just kind of gradually step it up.
Step it up. Yeah. Okay. So tell us about that. I mean, there was a time, for those of y'all who don't know, where Josh and I, we would work out together at the work gym, and then he was always stronger than me, but at least we could still work out, and I didn't slow him down much. But then it game, you just saw changes in Josh, and he quickly, it almost seems like you doubled, how much you were lifting, and I think that's around the time you started preparing for some competition stuff. Is that about right? Did you get into some competition stuff? How did that go?
Yeah, I mean, so like lifting had always been a part of me, right? But I knew like what's gonna happen if I actually set a goal for myself, right? Because I've just been kind of in the same routine. Okay, I go to the gym, I do my hour of lifting, and that's it, right?
Hmm.
But I never had a goal in mind, right? And
Right.
so I was like, let me set a goal for myself and give it my absolute all, right? That's what I wanted to see because I kind of hit a plateau where I kind of looked the same for a while, right? And I wasn't getting any stronger, wasn't getting any less strong, but I just kind of, it was like 2, 3 years where it was just kind of the same.
Hmm.
And so I knew I was like, I got to do something different. And I think putting a goal was the best thing to do. So I was like, I've been following a bodybuilding type of training for a long time, and I've built a good base for myself as far as muscle. Let me do a bodybuilding competition.
Hmm.
And I mean, I didn't expect anything out of it. I wanted to just give my best, and that would be a win for me.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I signed up for a competition. It was July 2023. And I started preparing for that. So I signed up back in it may have been like December of 2022 when I signed up for it, right before the new year. And so uh, I hired a coach as well to help me that has been through a competition because, you know, I didn't want to go into it and never had know what to expect, right? I needed somebody
Yeah.
to kind of guide me through it. So I hired a coach um, to prepare me, and we started at like 12 weeks out from the competition with a structured a game plan as far as what I should be doing in the gym, how my nutrition should be every day, and things like that. And that
Okay.
really, it was hard, but it was good for me. It took my fitness level to the next level.
Hmm.
It helped me break through that plateau and it became my new norm. So, yeah, so we
So
got
so
to the
what were
competition.
so what were some of the things that he would show you to help you break that plateau? Because I mean, I'm sure there's people listening too that were where you were and probably in good shape, but they felt like they wanted to get in more optimal. So can you kind of just give us like a sneak peek on like how you were able to kind of take that next jump up?
Yeah, I mean, I always ate pretty healthy, or what I thought was healthy, but I wasn't as strict as I am now, right? So the nutrition piece was a whole lot of it. Because everybody, I feel like, kind of knows, how to eat, eat protein, eat healthy, carbs, fats, things like that. But it really comes down to how many calories you're eating and, things like that.
Hmm.
So really tracking that every day, and staying on top of that. And so that was really what helped me was with that strict meal plan,
Wow.
uh, see changes in my physique.
So it was more so in the
Mhm.
diet, more so than what you were doing at the gym.
Yeah,
You,
yeah, because I had been bodybuilding or that type of training for a long time, right?
yeah,
For 10 plus years prior to doing this competition.
yeah,
And kind of just eating whatever I thought was good along the
yeah.
way. And I saw lots of progress. But really, what changed me is when I put pen to paper and really, honed in on my nutrition.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, was it easy for you? I mean, I would say I think a lot of people who are starting their fitness journey or maybe, work out every now and again, there's this idea that, there's certain people that are just wired differently and just love going to the gym. So, I mean, do you just like geek out about going to the gym, or is this something that some days you don't feel like going and you still do anyway?
I mean, you see this behind me, right? It says Mamba mentality,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it says a constant quest to be the best version of yourself. And that's kind of it is, you have to be wired in some way, right?
Hmm.
And I think it all started back to being an athlete, right? If you have that athlete mentality where you want to win, right? And you're a competitive person, you have that drive within you, is what helps you. So, I mean, there's going to be times, yeah, when I don't want to go to the gym. I'm not always thrilled about going to the gym, because it takes effort. You got to go in there, you got to push yourself. But I think the hardest part about going to the gym is just getting up and going, because once you get there, you actually enjoy it. You find like, okay, I'm glad I'm here. And
Yeah.
then after you finish that session that you didn't want to go do, you feel 100 times better. You're like, man, I'm so glad I went and got that over with.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a big part of it, because I mean, I'm telling you, man, I'm not always like, yeah, I want to go to the gym, but it's that constant quest to be that best version of myself that makes me go anyways and just do it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, and
So,
I think you have to have like a love for it in some way. You have to fall in love with the journey, because if you don't love it, you're not going to stick with it. So you do have to love it in some way. So if lifting weights isn't your thing, you just hate it, right? Maybe find something else that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be lifting weights, right? It could be anything. It could be yoga. It could be, Pilates. It could be, so try everything, right? And see what you enjoy. Any type of exercise is better than no exercise,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
So, but it just so happens that, lifting weights is what gives me results. And then that's what I love, is
yeah,
results,
yeah.
that I'm seeing the results that I'm looking for. So,
And I'll say this too. I feel like the best performance in my life in most of the things that I've done is always when I was coached at some capacity, whether it was being coached on
mm,
how to be a safety professional or being coached on how to speak professionally or being coached on how to start a basketball training business. All these things, the most common denominator is that, I had a coach. And so that was important for me getting started, especially when I first moved out here to Texas. The first thing I said was, okay, let me find a PT, a personal trainer. But it's funny to hear you say that the most important piece is the nutrition part of it. Growing up in the South, I can tell you the people that I grew up around, I mean, they love their food, man. Not necessarily bad food, but just like the flavor of it.
mm,
And
mm-hmm.
so I think there's this relationship that most people have with the way food tastes. So can you help us or give us your best tips on how to kind of change the relationship on how we think about food when it comes to the things that we really, really enjoy, but then we also want to be in, good shape.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to have a healthy relationship. I mean, I think if you're too far with the diet, that can become unhealthy. But if you're not following any type of diet, then that's unhealthy as well. So
So
you have to
what's
meet
what's
yourself in the
too
middle.
far? What would you say is like too far?
Um, well, like too far healthy, or
Yeah, both.
trying,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you're counting your calories every day and you're following a strict meal plan, if you do that forever, that's going to mess with your mental, right?
Okay.
Then you're not going to be able to enjoy just a regular going out to eat setting with your friends and family.
Yeah.
So I did do that for a little bit of time, but that was just for the competition. That was
Okay.
just for a goal that I had set for myself.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that forever. you know,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not that crazy as where I'm like, okay, how many calories are in this? You know, how much protein is in this. That would drive me crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So you have to find a healthy balance. Um, so yeah, I think for people that are like, I love my food, but I also want to eat healthy, and there's, I don't like the way it tastes. Um, I would say try to find healthy recipes for the things you do like, right?
Mm. Okay.
So whenever I create meal plans for people, I say, hey, what do you like to eat? Tell me what you like to eat. Oh, I like, let's say spaghetti. I like tacos. I like burgers.
What about a
I
good
like,
steak?
I like steak, whatever it may be. All right, cool. Now I'm going to tell you how to make those same things, but in a healthier way, right?
Ah, okay.
So
All
there's
right.
ways you can go out and grocery shop for items
Mhm.
and make things that are like what you used to make, but are a
Mhm.
healthier version, right? And I think also if you want to eat healthy or if you want to make a lifestyle change, the biggest part is learning how to cook. You need to,
Okay.
and you
Now we
need to
talking.
want to cook, because I think it's very hard if you're just swinging through the drive-through constantly or getting DoorDash or relying on, uh, America's food diet plan they have for you. You're not gonna,
Hmm.
be at your best self or live a healthy lifestyle by
Yeah.
eating all that food. So I think
Yeah.
buying your food and cooking it is going to be the best option. Now there
Okay.
are some meal service plans out there that those are a great way to start too. If you're just too busy, then yeah, that's another option. But also cooking food is probably going to be the best option.
Do you have any ones that you recommend over the other in terms of meal prep services?
I haven't really used one in a while, so I couldn't really tell you if those are really great anymore.
Yeah.
So because I've gotten used to really cooking my food ever
Okay.
since the bodybuilding competition, right?
Yeah.
That's what has got me into the same lifestyle of just cooking my own food because I had
Yeah.
to do a lot of cooking for that competition, and ever since then, I mean, it's just became, like I said, it's a lifestyle change. It's
Yeah.
become my new normal, right?
So what kind of doors has, going to bodybuilding competitions, like what kind of doors has that opened for you? I know you've done some modeling here and there.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you
well,
win
I
any
mean,
of the competitions?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, modeling, yeah, that was another thing I got into. So, and I still do it today. Move after college, move into Dallas area. It was always like people would say, "Hey, man, you should do some modeling." I'm 6'1". I was, pretty muscular,
Hmm.
and so I had like a good build for that industry. Um, and being, biracial, I could fit in a lot of different categories, whether it be Hispanic or, um,
Hispanic.
I could pass for, I've done different, things.
Yeah,
So,
I guess so.
um,
I guess so.
yeah, so my ethnicity was good for different categories. So,
Hmm.
yeah, so after I moved to Dallas after college, I got with a modeling agency here, and I've been working with them for the past 8 years, and it's just always been a good extra source of income when I do things like I would do like J.C. Penney's, Academy, um, Famous Footwear. I've done Dickies, just any of stores and things like advertising type modeling stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yes, but to get back to your question about the bodybuilding, so yeah, I had been working out for a little while and I noticed I had plateaued, and so I wanted to set a goal for myself. So I did the competition. Didn't expect anything like winning. I just wanted to be the best version of myself, right?
Hmm.
And I ended up, yeah. So my first competition, I won my height category. So what they do
Okay.
is they put you in a category by your height, right? And I won that one. And then at the end of the show, after everybody out of their categories, their different height categories, goes, then the winners out of each height category go against each other in the very end,
Okay.
at the end of the bodybuilding competition. And so I got second at the end of that first one because there was another guy that was, I think he was around like 6'4", 6'5" in his category. He was a lot bigger and taller. So that and bodybuilding can be very just kind of judgmental, right?
Okay.
What one judge likes better than the other. It's all about proportions and how you look on stage. So I
Gotcha.
got second in that one, in the overall. And then my coach said, "Hey, there's another competition in Toronto 2 weeks later, and you're in shape already. Would you want to do that one as well?" And I said, "You know what? Yeah, let's give it another shot." So he actually helped. He was paid my way to go out to Toronto
Nice.
and support me on my next competition. And I actually won the whole thing in that one. So that was good for me. I got my spirit back up after kind of coming in second to winning the whole show. I
Hmm.
won my height category, and then I won out of everybody.
Gotcha.
Um, and then so this sequence of bodybuilding competitions were all for like a final competition later in the year. So you had to be a winner of one of those shows to qualify for the championship that was in
Mm.
October of that year,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
I won that, and so I qualified for the October championship.
Championship. Gotcha.
And so each winner from of those shows throughout the year competed for that championship. And so when I got there, man, it was the best of the best. And so everybody there was really good. I actually placed fifth in the championship. So,
Is that
but yeah,
worldwide
man.
or
Or
nationwide?
that was nationwide. Yeah.
Nationwide.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So fifth nationwide. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah,
big
it was
deal.
fun.
And how many months was that? Is that like 5?
So I started in April, or I started in March, and the last competition was in October. So yeah, I guess that's about 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so it
pretty.
was a
That's
long, rough year, man. It's
yeah.
tough, but it was all worth it, man.
And you
Yeah.
never thought that you would be, working out for bodybuilding competition.
Yeah, I never thought, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not ever gonna. I just want to see what it's like. I want to push
Yeah.
myself, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was a great
And
experience.
and you had a coach. You had a
Yeah,
coach.
yeah. So I
Cool.
thought I knew a lot about fitness, being a personal trainer. But even if you are the best of the best, you still need a coach to hold you accountable,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
To say, hey, man, did you get your calories in this week? Did you eat all your meals? Did you follow the plan? Right? That's kind of watching over you, because you'll cheat yourself if it's just up to you,
Hmm. At least
right?
starting
But you,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even the best of the best, right? Like I don't know if you're familiar with Chris Bumstead,
No, not familiar.
but he's like the best bodybuilder in the world right now, right?
Okay.
I mean, even he needs a coach,
Okay.
to kind of hold you accountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the accountability piece is everything. That's why people need a manager, right? In a job, you need somebody kind of holding you accountable, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the biggest thing for me, was just that accountability piece, checking in
Yeah.
with me, saying, "Hey, man, how you doing? If you need anything, I'm here for you." That
Yeah.
kind of that somebody in the back of your ear just pushing you, right?
Push. Yeah.
And so that was great, man. And so
Nice.
after this, I realized that, hey, man, I get a lot of people coming to me for advice, and I was like, you know what, I can be a coach as well. I mean, I've been a personal trainer before. I've went through a bodybuilding competition. I know what it's like, how to get in shape, and that's why I got into coaching as well. I was like, you know what, let me use my knowledge as a resource to help other people.
Yeah,
You know.
nice. That's dope, man. And for our listeners here, there was a time when I told Josh that he probably should do this. I felt like he had a lot of things that he could share with people. And at the time, he was just like, "Oh no, man, I'm not trying to do too much with that." And then
Hmm.
we ran into each other again at the gym, same gym. And at this time, I had kind of fallen off, and so we hadn't seen each other in a while. And then he shared with me that he was now helping people in their fitness journey. So that's really dope to hear you say that, man. So let's talk about, what you do now in terms of, health and fitness for people and who are your type of people that you're trying to serve.
Yeah. So, man, I've been training. I started my fitness business back in 2023, January 2023, and I also helped somebody get ready for their first competition as well.
Okay.
and they placed third at theirs. This was his first competition. He was just trying to be. I think he kind of got inspired by me, and also wanted to be the best version of himself. So I helped him through that process, and he did really well. But I
Nice.
also work with people that are just getting into the gym because I was there at one point. You know, everybody starts somewhere.
Hmm.
To people that are already in shape, right, and they're just looking to get to that next level, right. So
Hmm.
all in between, man. I've worked with all different types of people in their fitness journeys.
Okay. So what's did you say the name of your company?
Fuller Fitness,
Okay, Fuller
yeah,
Fitness. Okay.
Fuller Fitness. That's
And where'd you
good.
get that? Where'd you get that name?
Well, Fuller is my last name, right? And my life, I think, is just full of fitness. So I kind of put together, right?
Ah, yeah.
And Fuller Fitness, it just kind of flows well, I think.
Yeah, it
You
does
know,
flow. Yeah, it does flow.
yeah.
It does flow. Cool. Cool. So
Mhm.
so anybody who is just starting out, anybody who is interested in bodybuilding, is that correct? What
Yeah,
about
yeah.
what about any athletes? Athletes trying to get ready to, make a team or, you know.
Yeah, so I think my whole focus is, strength training, and that's a big part of athletes is getting
Hmm.
stronger,
Hmm.
whether it be in football, basketball,
Hmm.
whatever it may be, is focusing on that because that's a big foundation of who I am. You know, I was
Hmm.
very skinny, and I had to get stronger, right? I had to put on
Hmm.
muscle, and so I think that's a specialty that I'm able to relate to.
Hmm.
So if you're someone, like an athlete that's trying to get stronger for a certain sport, I can definitely help out with that. But
Nice.
also just getting into the shape, or you trying to take your fitness game to the next level. Maybe you've hit a plateau for a long period of time. And you're like, man, what am I missing? What do I need to do?
Hmm.
I can help you get over that hump. You know.
Got you. And is it just men or is it men and women?
No,
That
I've worked with women as well.
okay.
A lot of women these days, they're trying to work on their glutes and their legs.
Hmm.
And so that's one main focus. So like doing a lot of squats and deadlifts, things like that are going to
Yeah.
contribute to that. So I've worked with women as well.
Nice. Nice. Okay, man. So where's the best place that people can find you and reach out to you if they're interested in your services?
Right now, you can reach me at my Instagram. That's probably my best way to get in touch with me. So it's Josh Fuller Official. I
Okay.
post a lot about, workout routines of me and my wife, a lot of faith things. So that's really a big background of mine too, is faith and fitness and family, all of that into one.
Okay.
So
And what
Josh
is
Fuller
it one more
Official.
time? Josh
Jo-
Fuller,
Josh Fuller Official. Yeah.
Josh Fuller official on IG. Anywhere else like
hmm
TikTok or YouTube or
I'm
other
not on
places?
on TikTok too big yet, so I need to get on
Okay.
TikTok game. But yeah, right
Nice.
now it's IG and Facebook. On Facebook, it's just Josh Fuller. But I think somebody has stolen. There's another Josh Fuller on Instagram, so I had to go with Josh Fuller official.
Okay, Josh Fuller official. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got it. Well, hey man, I appreciate you joining the show. You are the first guest, and next time hopefully we can get you in person. Uh, but everybody that's interested in their weight loss journey or physical fitness or just want to simply get stronger, hit up my guy Josh. He's a good guy, fun to work with and easy to work with as well. So yeah, I don't think that's anything else we need to touch on for now. We'll leave people with that. I know you are in hot demand. You opened up 25 slots, so that was generous of you. So hey, hurry up, reach out to them, book your spots, and then go get some amazing results.
Yeah, man. I think it's the best time to get started now. Don't wait till the new year.
Yeah,
Get going now. You don't want to be one of the New Year's resolution people and drop off. You want to have a game plan in place prior to the new year. So,
yeah, yeah. That's dope, man. All right, well, we'll end it like that. Until next time, keep
all
building
right,
them
brother.
skills, people. All right, man.
All
See ya.
right. Talk to you later.